If you were kidnapped by a devil entity and brought to a different dimension where you have to survive and escape from an evil nurse, what would you do? I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the nurse in Dead by Daylight. This guy has no idea where he is or what he's up against. But there is one rule that everybody knows. In order to survive from this strange realm, you have to power up 5 generators and escape through the gates. After a couple of seconds working on a generator, one of his perks goes off, meaning that the killer is looking at his direction. So Dwight let go of his generator and he tries to stay out of the nurse's line of sight. When the killer leaves the area, Dwight goes back to his generator. But this time, when he's working on it, he makes a mistake and he blows up his generator by accident, alerting the killer to his location. Alright, in the beginning when he decided to jump on a generator as soon as possible, that was one of the best decisions that this guy made. Killers are at their weakest when a game starts, because they don't have much information about the survivors or their locations or any type of map pressure if they are not using certain perks or certain add-ons to manipulate the map or the generators. However, this is a different story for the survivors, because they can split up and start working on the generators, pressuring the killer at the very beginning.
I wish I could say we had a lot of things going for us, but we really do not.
When the match started, Dwight spawned with another survivor right next to him, but the other survivor decided to go the other way and didn't want to work on the gen, and that was a mistake. If multiple survivors work on a generator at the same time, they can finish it much faster rather than one solo survivor. So that guy just running away and doing nothing for the next 20 or 30 seconds is not going to help anybody or help himself. Also, when a survivor started sprinting, they would leave scratch marks behind that the killer can use and see to follow them and find them. So if I was in this situation, you better be damn sure that I'm not just going around sprinting like a maniac, leaving scratch marks all over the place for the killer to find me. Another good thing that this guy did was playing around his perk. This perk right here is called Spine Chill. This perk will let you know if the killer is looking at your direction by going on and off. If the killer is only navigating the area and roaming around, this perk will go on and off constantly, because they're just looking around to find a survivor or an objective to control and hold. But here, this perk was going off the whole time, meaning that the killer is coming towards him. When he went back to the generator and blew it up, it notified the killer to his location. And as expected, the killer came. Okay, that was a big mistake. You don't want to give the killer any information as much as possible. If you miss a skill check while you're working on a generator, it would be something like this. And I have to mention that he missed a skill check against a nurse, one of the strongest killer in the game right now. The nurse has one of the most powerful abilities in the game. She can freely teleport through obstacles, objects, and even survivors, catching the survivors off guard and helpless. If you are running away from her, it doesn't matter how far you have gone, because she can just teleport to you in a blink of an eye. That being said, many have considered Nurse the hardest killer to master and pilot, due to her power. Every time she teleports, she has a small window that she can hit the survivors. If she fails, she goes to a cooldown for 3 or 4 seconds, giving the survivors enough time to go to another loop or safety. In addition to all of that, Nurse is the only killer in the game that is actually slower than the survivors. So if a Nurse player doesn't know how to use their powers and they decide to chase a survivor, normally they're never gonna reach them unless that survivor mess up really big. Alright, let's rewind a bit and see what information we have. When the nurse goes after Dwight, Dwight seems to be completely oblivious about his surroundings. As you can see here, there's a pallet between these two water towers, but the Dwight completely ignores it and continues running aimlessly. This makes me think that this guy doesn't know his surroundings and he is just terrified for the fact that the killer is after him, and this is a big mistake. Running aimlessly around is not going to help you, and also not looking at the killer is another big mistake that you can make. By keeping an eye on the killer, you have a better understanding of what they're gonna do, and also you are aware of the distance between you and the killer. Think about it this way. Imagine you're going into a fight with an opponent. If you are not paying attention, you are going to get knocked out. So if a killer is after you and they are making your life miserable, then you have to do the same thing. For example, try to waste their time. Take them as far away as you can from your team and from the objectives that you guys are controlling. Buy as much time as you can for your team to do the generators and ultimately escape from the trial. Another mistake that the Dwight made was bringing the killer into the area where his teammates were trying to go and rescue the person who was on the hook. Just take a look at this screenshot. Look how many people are in this small area and nobody is doing generator and pressuring the killer. Dwight has the perk called Bound, which lets you see the aura of the survivors who are near you. Yet, he decides to run the killer past that area. As for his teammates, nobody's trying to split up and do generators. One of the common tactics used by the killers is called slugging. When a killer downs a survivor but does not hook them and they just leave them on the ground to go for another survivor, that is called slugging. If a killer has great mobility that can move around really fast and down people quickly, this tactic could be great and win you the game. Yes, this game plan is high risk, high reward, but for someone like Nurse, they can definitely pull this off and snowball the game really hard. After the nurse hooks Dwight, Dwight tries to free himself off the hook. Many new players don't know that survivors have 4% chance of freeing themselves off the hook. You can try this if this is the only hope you have, and you can do it up to 3 times, but each time if you fail, the game will remove a portion of your life bar, making you closer to the second stage of sacrifice. Unfortunately for the Dwight, it takes a long time for his teammates to go for the rescue, and he hit the second stage, which means the next time he gets caught by the killer, he is dead. Had it not been for the fact that he tried to free himself and removed a portion of his life bar, he would still have enough time to not hit the second stage, and he would have another chance to get hooked and survive should the killer find him. Desperate to find some help, he goes around the town to find the survivor so they can heal him. While he is running, he is able to find 2 other survivors healing each other thanks to his perk. After they patch each other up, Dwight decides to go to this window and fast vault it. Any rash actions alert the killer the same way missing a skill check alert them. So Dwight fast vaulting that window not only gave away his position, but also his other 2 teammates are working on that generator. With this single move, Dwight managed to expose 3 survivors' location to the killer. After that, Dwight finds this generator and starts working on it. This guy is dead on hook and he decides to go on top of this platform and start working on this generator without no cover. Even if you ask the best survivors in the world, they would tell you that looping the nurse is not the best thing that you can do. The nurse doesn't care about the pallets or the windows because she can just teleport through them. The best strategy that you can use is to be unpredictable and stay away from their line of sights. By doing this, if they guess wrong and teleport even a few meters away from you, they'll go to a cooldown, giving you enough time to go to another area and break the line of sight again. But Dwight does not care about any of this and keeps working on his generator. Up to this point, everything seems to be fine and he's about to finish his generator, but he blows it up. If I could ask this Dwight one question, that question would be, do you understand how dead you are right now? I mean, take a look at your surroundings. You have no cover, you are staying on top of a platform and you just blew a generator up? Well, Neris goes after him and... yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.